Me live from New Delhi. Amid crowds participating in protests and memorial events across Europe, North Africa and Asia on the eve of the first anniversary of Hamas attack on Israel and demanding that the bloodbath should end. Meanwhile, the attacks continue. Fill us in with more details.
Well, Abhishek, it's been almost a year. It's been a year now since, the October 7th episode had happened when Hamas squads had actually entered, abducted Israelis and conducted mass killing. After which, the war has been going on for the last 1 year, 365 days. But now we are entering into an absolutely different phase. The war is now moving into a phase of posturing, propaganda and messaging. From both sides, if you look at Iran, it has been backing its proxies in the war against Israel. But now, in fact, over the last 1 week after the Hezbollah chief, which again has been a key, ally of Iran, he was the Hezbollah chief was eliminated. Iran came out openly in support of all the actions against Israel. And they say, and Ayatollah Khomeini, the supreme leader of Iran, made it very, very clear that there will be no stopping and they will be engaging with Israel in case of any retaliation. Now, following that, Israel also, a couple of days back, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also sent out a message specifically for people of Iran, saying that, this kind of a regime should come to an end. Historically, if you look at Iran, it has been a sort of a secular country, and it has been not under the regime of the Islamic Shiite regime, which it is currently under. So the perception has now moved on to the people, and both the leaders, in fact, Israeli as well as Iranian leaders, are talking about a lot of things, in terms of how this has kind of affected the entire peace in the West Asian region. Now, also one thing I would like to tell you, because it's all this killing, if you saw the last attack by Iran on Israel, Israel is yet to respond. A significant response is what we are yet to see as far as Israel is concerned. Remember, there were about 180 ballistic missiles which were fired into the Israeli territory by Iranians. But Israel is yet to respond to it. It has so far kept its actions only against the proxies of Iran, which is basically Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. So we haven't really seen any significant move as far as Israel is concerned, and everybody is waiting with a bated breath. Now, remember, Israel never discloses. I mean, it's very difficult to preempt what Israel's next move would be. So the eyes and attention is now focused on what Israel would do. And at the same time, we are also looking at a lot of pressure. Even within Iran, there's a lot of pressure that there should be a de-escalation, because Iran, Iranian people per se has not been directly involved in this conflict. It is only the proxies of Iran that has been waging the war. So internally, the youth of Iran is also putting a lot of pressure, of course. Even the allies of Iran have now mounted considerable pressure, saying that there should be peace and stability, and a ceasefire is required at this point in time.
Absolutely, and de-escalation doesn't seem to happen as of now. But Amit, from October 7 attacks last year to escalating tensions with Iran and Hezbollah, like you mentioned, the conflict doesn't seem to end. But where do you think this is headed?
Well, again, like I said, it's now emerging to be a war of optics and messaging. Today in the morning, in the early hours, Israel declared a complete victory over Hamas, which means that it has kind of dismantled all the platforms, all the installations and facilities associated with Hamas, and that is a very, very significant move. Israel's idea of declaring that it's a complete victory over Hamas. Now, even as Hezbollah is concerned, they have said that Hezbollah has been kind of defeated to a certain extent, and it has been rendered considerably weak. Now, what remains now is Houthis and a response, if it all happens, unless and until, if this is a kind of a ceasefire sort of a workout that we are looking at, Israel declaring that the war with Hamas is almost over because it has now claimed victory over it. So, as the war continues, tensions are there. There are certain things which are moving, which are indicative of the fact that there could be some amount of peace that we might see in the next few days. But again, that is speculation, considering the fact the bombardments have been on for in the last 24 hours as far as Israel is concerned. So Israel is leaving no stones unturned. And if you look at what IDF had said some time back, it said that no half-baked measures. It's time for a full-scale operation against all those who have been creating disturbance over the Israeli territories,
Right.
whether it's Hamas, whether it's Hezbollah,
Right. I mean, it's
or
been
it's the Houthis.
a year of death and devastation in the Middle East. We'll leave it at that, Amit. Thank you for your inputs.